Good news for health workers throughout the country. The Department of Health has completed a draft policy on the multi-drug resistant TB and extremely drug-resistant TB hardships aimed to address health workers' risks. This comes after medical staff at Daru Hospital threatened to stop work if the government continues to ignore their call to address these health risks.
They know what it's like when patients contract the multi-drug resistant TB and the extremely drug-resistant TB. They have seen firsthand how patients and their families suffer either financially, mentally, physically or socially. Their commitment to their jobs as health workers in a TB high-risk province has now resulted in 13 of these brave health workers living with the drug-resistant TB. This is why they are fighting for the government through the health department to ensure there are measures in place to protect them in their line of duty or support them when they fall victim to this life-threatening illness.
Within 2008 up until 2015, during that period of time we had 11 staff got infected. Measures were not put in place, infection control strategies and program during those previous years. And this matter was brought to us as unions, so we decided to take this matter further on administratively and then made our first petition that since we petitioned the Department of Health, nothing has come forth. This has brought up a lot of frustrations. So we decided that it is best appropriate to do a follow-up petition again to the board.
Following their second petition 7 days ago, the health department has responded positively, immediately forming a working committee to complete the multi-drug resistant and extremely drug-resistant TB hardship policy.
So the draft policy has been completed yesterday at 3 o'clock and it's pending for further negotiation with the Department of Personnel Management. So the timeline in preparation for this before it is finalized is month of June has been assured by the Department of Health.
In Daru Hospital alone, one community health worker was forced to resign due to hearing loss, a side effect of taking the TB drugs.
The staff has suffered 250 injections and in just 15,000 pills. That's having very serious side effects, and which include blindness, loss of hearing, and speech defects.
Charmaine Porambe, TVWan News.
Potential investors in Papua New Guinea's mining sector have been reassured of the country's sound investment climate, this time from a transparency perspective. Representatives from the Mineral Resources Authority, regulator of the country's mining sector, told participants at the Hong Kong Mines and Money Convention this week that PNG had taken serious steps towards becoming a fully fledged member of the International Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. MRA's Manager for Geographical Information System, Marketing and Information, Arnold Lagamanga, told the conference that the PNG government has set up a secretariat to achieve that full membership.
Lagamanga told financiers, mineral exploration companies, service providers and geologists that the PNG government wants investors to know that it wants to be transparent in the way it does business. He said MRA, as a stakeholder and a strong supporter of the PNG EITI process, has a digital tenements management system that is open and transparent, as it has features that eliminate potential forms of influence outside the normal process. The system enables license holders to check on the status of their tenements and applications online, and the public also has access to general information on these tenements and applications. Lagamanga said the PNG EITI Secretariat has produced 2 reports on the 2013 and 2014 reporting periods, with 2015 and 2016 reports due by the end of the year. Several representatives from investors, including Rio Tinto and Zijin, commended the country for its efforts. The MRA is hopeful that PNG's EITI efforts will encourage investment in the country by providing investor confidence. Salome Vincent, TVWan News.
Landowners of Papa, Boira, Rea Rea and Porebada villages have reacted through their respective associations over the declaration of their customary land, which has been turned into an economic zone by the government. Under the umbrella company, LNG Plant Landowners Association Incorporated executives told media today that the entire arrangement and gazetting of the Conebada Petroleum Park Zone bypassed the 4 villages concerned. They outrightly rejected the declaration.
A letter expressing the affected villages' objection has been issued to the Minister for Lands, Benny Allen. Secretary of the LNG Plant Landowners Association, Inc., Taubaru, said key points included the lack of consultation with villagers, suggesting marginalism and disregard for livelihood.
If the government has a plan, which we assume that it has, right? It was done without any consultation with the affected communities or landowners. Hence, the communities and the landowners are completely unaware of the petroleum zone.
The Umbrella Association executives say the gazettal came to their attention a week ago, much to their confusion, as they claim they were not aware such a large portion of customary land had been sidelined for investment. President of the Rea Rea Landowners Association, Noholohia, described this as intrusive.
Any dealings on our land must involve consultation with landowners. First, under the Customary Land Act, this law has been ignored or deprived by the government.
The letter of objection sent to Minister Allen today will be followed with a petition after the Umbrella Association speaks with locals of the 4 affected villages.
Because it's an act, it empowers them to acquire the land. And then what we have seen now, our experience now is they have already, it's a land scandal.
From experience, we will lose altogether. This thing will happen again on the other side. We totally disagree with him, and we want this one nullified.
On Thursday, Minister Allen announced the NEC decision for the 23,325 hectares of the land in question as a free trade zone under the administrative authority of the Conebada Petroleum Park Authority. He also denied any dubious dealings involved in the arrangement. But the landowners remain unconvinced, saying the livelihood of close to 25,000 people stands to be affected. Salome Vincent, TVWan News.
The preliminary electoral roll update for the 2017 National General Election has been completed. Electoral Commissioner Patilius Gamato announced this following the successful completion of data entry in the entire 22 provinces last week.
Electoral Commissioner Patilius Gamato says the preliminary roll will be used for nominations when the 2017 election writs are opened on April 20. This means that the process of updating the 2017 roll is still continuing until all verification is completed right across the country. Gamato says once verification is completed, preliminary rolls for all the 22 provinces will be submitted to the PNG Electoral Commission headquarters in Port Moresby to be finalized, printed and ready for polling on June 24. He further explained that at the moment, the preliminary roll is going through the verification and objection process right across the country. The delay in completing the electoral roll on time was due to the availability of funding. Gamato said had the government released the funding earlier, the roll update exercise could have been completed in December 2016. But despite that, the Electoral Commission is adamant that the final electoral roll will be printed in mid-May. The Electoral Commissioner also commended the tremendous effort put in by temporary electoral workers in updating the roll. Eligible voters must visit their nearest Electoral Commission office to verify and confirm their names on the electoral roll. In 2012, a total of 4.8 million people were registered as eligible voters on the roll, but only 3.7 million voters turned up to actually cast their votes. In 2017, the Electoral Commission is projecting 5.6 million eligible voters to be registered on the 2017 electoral roll and is estimating that only 4.5 million voters would actually cast their votes. Shamit Porambe, TVWan News.
9 patients have undergone successful heart operations under the 2017 Operation Open Heart program. This year's operations have seen local doctors step up to the challenge with minimal supervision from experts of Singapore's National Heart Centre.
Operation Open Heart, dominated and led by senior Papua New Guinean surgeons, attended to 9 cases, 5 female and 4 male adult patients. So far, 8 have been operated on, with the last patient scheduled for this afternoon. Dr. Tapawa revealed that the heart defects have developed from common cold and flu, but lifestyle diseases are equally responsible.
It's a common flu that you and I get, from the cough or pneumonia, and it stimulates the immune response, and this immune response starts to attack the valves in the heart. While trying to kill the bacteria, it also attacks the valve and destroys it. So that's basically what we are treating. It's a rheumatic heart disease.
The first patient of the 2017 Operation Open Heart program says her heart condition was a result of cold and flu. Knowing the successful heart operation will add years to her life is truly a blessing. The operation this week is a positive indication of where heart services in PNG is heading.
This stage now, we have an entire team that is trained to handle complex heart surgeries. And this week, this latest trip that you come, basically we have been very hands-off. Dr. Noah and his team has been doing all the work.
The Operation Open Heart is adamant to continue its services in PNG. Thus, the team appeals to the wider public and the business community to support this cause.
Everything that we raise pays for this woman right here, which, as you know, wouldn't be able to afford to go overseas at all, or wouldn't have the opportunity.
Caroline Ure, TVWan News.
The Sogeri Plateau in Hinterland Central Province holds a significant history for the Seventh-day Adventists in Papua New Guinea today. It is where the founding missionary Septimus Carr established the first SDA church. It's now 108 years ago, and from there the church expanded its ministries. Bisia Tabu SDA Mission is what it is today. Recently, it held a groundbreaking ceremony to signify the start of work on a new church building.
This is the Bisia Tabu Seventh-day Adventist Church Mission Ground at Sogeri, the spiritual home of the Adventists. It is from here the initial seed of the Adventists was planted in 1908 by Australian Adventist missionary Septimus Carr and Fijian Benisimani Tavodi. The church building seen here is deteriorating while the church congregation continues to grow, hosting around 4,000 devoted Adventists at one time. The Bisia Tabu locality has embarked on a mission to build a new house of worship at a cost of 2.5 million kina. They have begun fundraising in pursuit of this infrastructure, which will be built in this area. A groundbreaking ceremony was effected as the first step in construction. The Kairukuhiri District Development Authority, the Office of the Central Governor, and owner of Halifax Group of Companies, Robert Agarobe, made financial pledges totaling 178,000 kina. Mr. Agarobe, also a Seventh-day Adventist, said he grew up learning and living the church's principles, and it helped to shape his destiny, which yielded success in his aviation business. He devoted this to his mother, who was a devoted Adventist and evangelist.
The discipline that came with the Seventh-day Adventist was how my mom raised us. What we are today is from our upbringing, the discipline that's installed in us at a very, very early age. And my mom raised us like that.
Despite the dull weather and drizzle, a fair number of Adventist Christians gathered to witness the launching and dedication of the building plan. Salome Vincent, TVWan News.